Hey everybody. Yeah, sorry for the poor lighting here. I'm just relaxing. I don't feel like turning on the ceiling fan light and blinding myself. I mean, who can blame me? I want to show you guys probably one of the best examples of narcissistic argument style and how I say that people are conflict seekers. This is a segment from Bill O'Reilly. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the Bill O'Reilly segment where he has an atheist on and invokes explaining the tides. Yeah, tides as in the oceans and water, tides coming in and going out as a justification for believing in religion. So watch this. He starts off just setting the tone and talking about what the atheist is about, and then he dives right in. So have a look.
Segment tonight, just before Christmas, an atheist group purchased a giant sign outside the Lincoln Tunnel here in New York City that said belief in Jesus as God is, quote, a myth. Then just last weekend, another sign appeared, this one in Huntsville, Alabama. The message says this about religion: you know, they're all scams, picturing Christian, Jewish, and Islamic symbols on the sign. So what's going on? With us now, David Silverman, president of the American Atheist Group, which is responsible for both billboards. So why the insults?
So Bill O'Reilly wastes no time at all in putting this guy on the defensive. So it's clear from the get-go that Bill O'Reilly doesn't care at all about what this atheist is trying to accomplish. He doesn't care about the atheist message. He doesn't even respect him as a guest. He's not trying to promote the atheist agenda. Literally, he just brought this guy on to just beat him down on camera. And he makes that apparent because starting right off the bat, puts the guy on the defensive. And this is a common tactic because once you're defending yourself, you're giving credit to your accuser. And so there's this hack in psychology where is basically I don't have to prove I'm right. If I can prove you're wrong, all I have to do is prove that you're wrong, and that makes me right. And so the atheist takes the bait and tries to defend himself, and that's unfortunate.
Well, they're not insults, they're truths. Well, they're not insults, they're truths.
Notice how Bill O'Reilly does not give a damn about his defense.
And we just heard Nancy Pelosi said that it's pay as you go. So let's try to get into the truth.
This isn't about pay as you go. This is about telling the truth. Now, if people get offended because we're saying what we believe,
no.
That's not us insulting.
Let's just be regular guys instead of I'm a Catholic, you're atheist. We're just regular guys now, okay?
And this is pretty clever here because he's saying, let's just be regular guys now. And the guy is looking at him like, dude, I'm trying to be a regular guy. I'm trying to fucking talk to you like a regular person. Now, Bill O'Reilly coming up is about to do something very smart and very common, and you see this all the time in televised debates. It's a tactic called choosing your definition.
You say something's a scam.
Yep,
on
it
a
is
sign.
a scam.
And then you come in here where millions of people are watching you and say that's not an insult. What does the word scam mean to you?
See what he did there? He's redefining the terms, and then he's asking this guy to define scam. You think Bill O'Reilly cares what this dude thinks a scam is? No, not at all.
Scam means it's deliberately misleading people.
And that's not an insult?
It's not an insult to the people. The people are just following.
It's not an insult to the people?
It's a statement to the people who are following the religion. And really, it's attacking the people who are in the pews. Wait a second.
Wait. Now, I'm stick with the insult.
Did you catch that? Did you catch that? Bill O'Reilly's keeping him talking about what Bill O'Reilly wants him to talk about, which is, let's stick with the insult. Stick with the insult. Let's talk about this thing the way I want to talk about it. Nobody insulted anything, but now Bill O'Reilly's forcing him back into the paradigm of justifying why he's insulting people, and now he's trying to defend himself, saying, I'm not insulting people.
In the pews. Wait a second.
Wait. Now, I'm stick with the insult. Stick with the insult. Stick with the insult.
Okay, so we're going to stick with an insult that doesn't exist, that never happened. But now watch, Bill O'Reilly's going to go back to picking the definition. And what's amazing to this is because he says, it is certainly an insult, in my opinion. And I'm not the smartest guy. Like this is like the craziest thing, right? So if you think about what Bill O'Reilly has said here, but it's so 1, 2, 3, it's so fast that he starts saying, like, literally this is an insult, followed by deprecating himself. As saying he's not an expert. And so anyone who thinks logically is like, well, then you're stupid is what you're saying, because you're saying you're not the smartest guy and you think it's an insult. Well, duh, that means you don't fucking get it, right? Except for the fact that he does it so quickly and it flies under the radar. What Bill O'Reilly does with this, and this is a very good tactic, is it sets up like plausible deniability. So like if he comes back later and actually really gets contradicted, he can say, well, I mean, of course I'm wrong. Like I told you, I'm not the smartest guy to begin with, and it's just my opinion, right? So it gives him fallback, is what it is. So he's keeping the guy on the defensive. He's on the attack, but should the guy actually manage to get a leg up on him, Bill O'Reilly has that to fall back on. He can just say, well, I mean, yeah, I'm not the smartest guy. I said that, and it's just my opinion. I mean, right? So really what he's doing is this is just a back and forth of opinions. None of it is based in fact to begin with. So this whole argument is just very, very pliable.
Because this is certainly an insult, in my opinion, and I know I'm not the smartest guy in town. Because this is certainly an insult. Because this is certainly an insult, in my opinion, and I know I'm not the smartest guy in town. And I know I'm not the smartest guy in town. But okay, so religion is a scam, but it's not the people's fault. They've just been lured in.
That's right.
Whose fault is it?
It's the leaders of the religion.
The leaders.
Of course.
All right.
I mean, this is not brain surgery.
The Pope.
The Pope, absolutely.
Right.
Look,
all of
this
these
is not
people.
brain surgery, and this is not world news.
All right, now this is where our atheist friend fucks up even more, because he makes a generalization, and generalizations can easily be latched onto. Bill O'Reilly goes right back into his usual tactic of, if you're wrong, then I'm automatically right. So he left himself open for what's about to happen.
Everybody knows religion is a scam. Everybody knows religion is a scam. The only news here is
Everybody knows. I don't know.
Now, see, look, this is a very, very common tactic, and you'll see this a lot in smear campaigns as well. Bill O'Reilly is literally handing him the rope to hang himself as he's defending himself, and as he's trying to attack Bill O'Reilly's literally just handed him the rope, and it's like, here, you know what to do with it, and he does it. He hangs himself with his own rope.
Mr. Silverman.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I got to tell you.
You sit here and you're skeptical every day, and then you go to church and you get on your knees and you pray to an invisible man in the sky.
Invisible man in the sky.
You don't think that's a scam?
No, I don't.
You look at a
I'll tell you
statue
why.
of a man that was built by a man?
I'll tell you why it's not a scam, in my opinion.
And now for one of the all-time best moments in television history. But notice what Bill O'Reilly has said here. He says, I'll tell you why it is not a scam, in my opinion. Look, if somebody tells you something with the disclaimer that it's their opinion, that means it's bullshit.
All right? Tide goes in, tide goes out. Never a miscommunication. You can't explain that.
In my opinion.
You can't explain that. You can explain why the tide goes in.
Explain why the tide goes in. Tide goes in.
Tide goes
See, the
out.
water, the tide comes in and it goes out, Mr. Silverman.
Maybe
it always
it's
comes
Thor
in
on top of Mount Olympus who's making the tides go in and out.
No, but you can't explain
a scam
that.
and a myth are the same. The
You can't
myth
explain
and religion are the same thing. It doesn't matter if I can explain it.
It doesn't?
And see, this goes to show why there's such a brilliant expression that says, never argue with an idiot because they will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. So this poor guy, I mean, he just got pulled into the absolute most ridiculous back and forth on national television. They went from talking about his political agenda. Well, he never got a chance to talk about that. But he just went straight from being on the defensive and talking about atheism and religion to tides. I can't explain it. Oh, maybe Thor's up on Mount Olympus, like all this stuff. And then like just lost in the silliness of the moment, and then what Bill O'Reilly immediately just latched right onto him as soon as he said some shit.
Doesn't mean that an invisible magic man in the sky is doing it.
And you're free to believe that.
So see, now this poor guy, he's been trying to correct Bill O'Reilly, and Bill O'Reilly's like, and you're free to believe that. He's like, what? No, you're off, Bill O'Reilly. Like you don't get it. You don't understand. So this whole time, Bill O'Reilly's been having this guy convinced that Bill doesn't understand something. And so when this dude finally loses his shit trying to explain it, but what does Bill say? He goes, well, you're free to believe that. As if Bill understood the whole entire time. And that's called crazy making.
But when you insult...
We're not insulting. Look, there are thousands
You're
of billboards.
calling religion a scam and a myth.
See, look at how cocky and confident Bill O'Reilly was just there.
Look, there are thousands
You're
of billboards.
calling religion a scam and a myth.
It's because he knows that the more this guy defends himself and the more this guy tries to correct him, the more the guy looks wrong. Bill knows this strategy very, very well. This guy just keeps digging himself deeper and deeper. And so there's this little hack in human psychology where whoever is the most confident wins the argument. Whenever you're fighting and arguing and debating, remember this. You can have all the facts and you can lose the argument. And you can have no facts, you can be wrong, and you can win the argument. So whether or not you have your facts it doesn't determine who wins the argument. You can win the argument whether you're wrong or you're right, and Bill knows this, and that's exactly what Bill is doing.
It is a scam and it is a myth, but that's a statement of fact. If you get insulted,
it is not a statement of fact.
Of course,
it's a statement of belief.
See, now he's going right back to choosing the definitions again. It's not a statement of fact; it's a statement of belief. See, this guy is wanting to argue with facts, and the thing is, arguing with facts does not determine whether you win or lose the argument. It helps. But you can't. You can win an argument with the wrong facts, and you can lose an argument with all the right facts. And this guy is losing his argument with all the right facts, because the second he gets a fact down or something that should be factual and should be taken under judicial notice, the very second that he gets some sort of solidity, then Bill O'Reilly turns around and changes it. He goes, it's not a statement of fact, it's a statement of belief. So now poof, he just changes the definition. So just as soon as this guy gets into the rhythm of Bill O'Reilly's definitions and starts to argue in the context of Bill O'Reilly's definitions, Bill O'Reilly changes the definitions on him. And this is a very common tactic. It keeps your opponent disoriented in a debate.
It is a scam and it is a myth, but that's a statement of fact. If you get insulted,
it is not a statement of fact.
Of course,
it's a statement of belief.
It's an invisible man in the sky.
That's what you believe. It's not a fact.
This country is filled with billboards attacking atheists, and this country has several billboards.
All right. Show me, tell me where there's one attacking.
Just go all up and down the New Jersey Turnpike, and you'll see that we're going to hell. We're going to burn. Hell is real.
I've never seen one like that.
Oh,
Can you tell me what exit it is? I'd like to go see it.
8A. Go
and
ahead.
Finally, he nails down Bill O'Reilly with some cold hard facts. He says, you know what? Christians do it all the time. There are the whole country's covered in billboards that say these things to atheists. And he's like, really? Well, I've never seen one. He goes, yeah, they're all over the Jersey Turnpike. Where? What exit? 8A. Bam! 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 Now watch.
All right, and who bought that?
It doesn't matter. The point is they're allowed to say what they want to say. And we're allowed to
Oh, that is so irritating. So after he had to expend so much effort and energy just into proving some stupid fact he shouldn't have to prove anyway, in the end, who cares? Whatever. Right? And that's what makes it so frustrating. By the time you get your point across, they're just like,
What good does it do you to insult 80% of the American people by saying they're too stupid to know what they're doing?
We didn't say stupid.
No, but if you say that the people are duped and I can't possibly believe
Gullible, that's the word.
you're calling me a moron. Because
I'm not calling you a moron.
Yes, you are.
It's the greatest scam in the history of the world.
And then I fall for it.
And you fell for it,
Right,
yeah.
so I'm an idiot.
No, I didn't say that.
Well,
man.
then how could I not be?
You know, your teaser for this segment was
if it's a fact that there
religious people in public.
If it's a fact, according to you, that there is no God, then I'd have to be a moron to believe in a God. I'd have to be stupid.
Well, we want you to think about that. And our position is that the churches are filled with atheists. Our position is that the churches are filled with people who know it's a myth, who know it's a scam.
Why do they go to church?
We don't know.
Well, you don't know. You don't know why it is.
Bill, the whole point is that there's a lot of familial and social pressure keeping people into church, but that's a